items while he was playing it.
His mum has told us how easily it was done. Apple have refunded the money, but it has been a real headache.
It was a busy day, we had loads of visitors, and he said it was a free one, so I thought, well, I never let him see the password. I typed it in and thought nothing more of it.
I just clicked on it because it said it was free, and then I gave it to Dad, and then he put the password in, and then the next day it costed the money.
I looked at my emails and there was 19 emails, receipts of roughly £69.99 each, and I thought this must be a mistake. It was actually £1,700 that he'd clocked up.
I've now borrowed the iPad from many more downloads, so that's the end of that.
Well, Danny and his mum Sharon join us from their home in Bristol to explain a little bit more about how this happened. Nathan Ray, who's the editor of the technology website Northology, with some advice for parents, is here. Thank you both very much for joining us. So, how did this happen? I mean, Danny explained a little bit about how it happened, but you must have been pretty amazed that he was able to spend that amount of money.
Yes, it was unbelievable. We were pretty distracted on Sunday with it being a family day. We had lots of the family over, and he'd asked my husband if he could have the passcode for a free download, and my husband said no, and he insisted. He said, please, Dad, but it's only a free one. So my husband held the iPad close to his chest, put the code in, and enabled him, gave him back the iPad. So he continued then to play for about 10 or 15 minutes, because shortly after that we were due to go out. So it wasn't a long period of time that he was playing.
But it was a lot of money that quickly accrued, wasn't it? I mean, describe for us the moment when you first discovered just how much was involved.
Well, 6 o'clock Monday morning I checked my emails and I saw the repetitive emails coming through from iTunes, but the first three were £69.99 and it all looked as if it was the same thing, and I just presumed it was a mistake, so I didn't think much of it being Monday morning. I carried on with the day, and later on in the day it was only when the credit card company called to say that was it normal that these 19 transactions were normal, and I said no, it's not.
And I guess, Sharon, you've all the families learned quite a big lesson. And how about Danny himself? I mean, what's his thoughts about the whole thing now? I can see him smiling there.
He was very upset when he realised what he had done. His brothers and sisters were telling him off and saying, you shouldn't have done that. But of course, he didn't know what he did. He's only 5. He was playing a game and he just asked for the code to add to the game, but he wasn't fully understanding what he did. And to be honest, I'm not sure how he did it.
Okay, we'll come back to you in a second, if you would. First of all, let's just talk to Nathan here. She's not alone, Sharon, in this. We've had lots of emails from people. Somebody saying, my grandson ran up a bill, £1,250. He was eventually given it back. My 9-year-old ran up a bill of £150 downloading tokens for a game. What are top tips for parents with regards to this?
Well, the best tip is to turn on the restrictions on the iPad, and all iOS devices have, in the general settings, they have restrictions, and you can restrict certain apps and definitely turn off in-app purchases.
Okay, because what happened there, and I know people have talked to us about before, is you put the password in, you get a 15-minute window, and that's when he spent the money.
Yes, well, all computer security comes down between a balance of security and convenience, and you can make things very, very convenient, but obviously it means that you can buy lots of things in a row, or you can enter your password in each time. And there's a setting on the iPad which means that you don't get that 15-minute window to go and win every game all of a sudden by paying the app developers and Apple money. Yeah. You can turn it off, so immediately, as soon as you put that passcode in, it turns off again, and you cannot make any more in-app purchases.
Okay.
We go back to Sharon and Danny now. Danny, I think you can hear us okay. Do you mind me asking what you think you learned, Danny, about what happened? What have you learned from what went on?
Not to do it.
Not to do it.
Sharon, what about you as a family? Because lots of people are saying, well, you know, maybe a 5-year-old shouldn't be with that kind of, you know, computer given free access to. What would you say to them?
Unfortunately, in today's society, we use all of this technology for educational purposes, and they are very. There are lots of educational things on there, as well as the games and the downloads. And we're having 5 children. I do need to take up some learning process to try and prevent this from happening again. Apple has been amazing, and they have given us step-by-step instructions on how to prevent this from happening again, and we will get a refund.
Oh yeah, and is he a bit nervous about playing those kind of games now? How's he doing?
Are you nervous about playing the games again? Would you be worried about playing them again? Not really.
All right, well, you better keep your hand on the password then. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Thank you for your time as
Good
well.
advice.
Lots of thoughts coming in from people who've also been victims, not on their own, that family. Mr. Pechak wrote that his grandson ran up a bill on an iPad of £1,200, and he does go on to say that Apple actually cancelled that bill as well.
And Amy says there should be a crackdown on games and apps that claim to be free but have lots of small in-app purchases. Thank you for all of those. We'll have more of those later.
Time now, 7:40.